Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all our friends tuning in from around the world. I'm your host Aakash and I welcome you back to yet another episode of the Boys Café. What a week this has been. All the games have been postponed for game week 7 and while we are recording we just hear that Arsenal and PSV game in the Europa League has also been postponed. Which gives us an idea that most of the London games are going to be postponed in game week 8. Chelsea and the Liverpool one is the most important one that is going to impact us, the FPL managers. Why? Because almost all of us have triple Liverpool assets and we all have James in our team. Almost, maybe we have Cucurella as well in our team. And 5 out of the 15 in the squad, if they are not playing this week, Wildcard becomes a very lucrative option this week. We thought why not make a wildcard draft for all our supporters, and here we are. So let's just get started. So let's first understand what the scenario is for now. If all the London games are being called off or being postponed for game week 8, then these are the games that are going to go ahead in game week 8. So Aston Villa versus Southampton is the one that will start on Friday. Nottingham Forest versus Fulham is the second one. Wolves versus Man City. Man City have already confirmed through their Twitter handle that the game is going on. Newcastle versus Bournemouth is going to be a very lucrative option for all the managers who are wildcarding, because most of us will go triple Newcastle in the wildcard. Everton versus West Ham is a good picture, and then Man United versus Leeds is also a very good picture for the attackers of Man United. So if you are wildcarding, make sure that you have 10 or 11 players from these games that are playing in these games and have rest of the players on the bench. To put things into perspective, this is the email shared by FPL Harry yesterday. And here, what he has done is he's taken the difficulty matrix from game week 9 to game week 16, and then he has arranged it in the order of easy fixtures going forward. And as you can see from the chart, Bournemouth has the easiest run of fixtures. Now, what we have to do here is we have to apply some common sense as well, because the fixture difficulty matrix has been designed in a way, right? But we have seen games from the past, and from our experience, we can say that for Bournemouth, these games won't be that easy. The teams to target will be, or the players to target will be from the Leicester attackers. Then we have Aston Villa. Aston Villa attackers have not been in any kind of form, but having an enabler like a Bailey can be a very good option going forward. Everton defense have been good at home, so that can be looked at from Chelsea has a good run of fixtures from next week. What we can understand from here are also the teams that we need to avoid for the time being, and those are the teams that we are quite stacked upon, right? Because all of us have a Gross or a Trossard from Brighton, have a Dunk or a Sanchez from Brighton defense. Most of us are on triple Arsenal. We have a Leeds midfielder, per se. We just bought in Rashford from Man United as well. So these are the things that we have to keep in mind before wildcarding. We need to understand how the teams have been playing so far, and also keep in mind the fixtures that we are having until the World Cup to make the best wildcard draft that we can make. Now we tried doing that, and here is what we have. We'll start with the Newcastle goalkeeper, Nick Pope. He's currently at 5.1, just increased in price from 5. The next 3 games that you can see are Bournemouth, Fulham and Brentford. All 3 are rated around 2 out of 5 for fixture difficult matrix. Now, the thing that goes well for Pope is that Newcastle are conceding a lot of shots on target, but these shots are low expected. They have a low expected goal, right? A low XG, as we say. Now, most shots with low XG mean only one thing, that Nick Pope is going to save almost all those shots, right? Which is going to result in more FPL points through saves, and also going to make him high for bonus points as well. He has 24 saves already, and Nick Pope is the one to go for if you're wildcarding this week. The first defender that we'll bring in the wildcard draft will be Cancelo. A no-brainer, like we would say, because City have the best defense in the league. They have the best expected goal conceded in the league. And now with so many midweek games coming on, Cancelo is someone from the Manchester City squad who is the most nailed on player, just beside Ederson. Now, what we observed after the Newcastle game, after the 3-all against Newcastle, is that his positioning has changed a bit for Cancelo. It's more like what we saw last season with Manchester City. He's taking more advanced positioning, which is very positive for Cancelo owners. What also goes well is that Walker is now going to be rotated with the left back Gomez. And Cancelo is a beast at right back. So Cancelo would be the first defender that we would bring in the wildcard squad. Moving ahead, the second defender that we'll have is Trippier. 4 7-pointers in the last 6 game weeks. He's averaging 5 points per game. He's on set pieces too. Now, another thing that because of the set pieces, he gets the bonus points. He's taking advanced position, putting in the crosses. That gives him bonus points as well. So he already has 4 bonus points. And then again, the thing that we said with Pope is that low XG shots, right? Newcastle are considering low XG shots, which means more often than not with the next set of fixtures that he has, they are going to get clean sheets going forward, right? They appear in a great position for defensive points as well as attacking points. So he's another one who will be there in almost all the wildcards, and he should be there. Now this is going to be a shock for some of the FPL managers, but Diego Dalot will be our third defensive pick in the wildcard. He's placed only at 4.5 million. He's nailed. He has won Erik ten Hag's trust at the kind of performances that he has put in recently. Like we know, he's been taking a lot of positions ahead and he's been putting in a lot of projects. And like Baker said on Above Average Pod, is that Dalot is a bonus point monster. He has taken like 6 bonus points already, and the best thing is that United defense has showing promise, and they have improved from the first 2 games that we saw in the season, and we are bullish on him. He would be the third pick in our wildcard draft. The first midfielder that we'll bring in on the wildcard would be KDB. Now, this would be a little surprise, but because of the Chelsea-Liverpool game being off, KDB is the best replacement that you can have for Salah. Now, why we are saying this is because of the price range, right? KDB is 12.2, Salah is 30. You just need to put 1 million in the bank, and whenever the fixture changes, whenever you think that you want to bring the Egyptian king back, it won't be a lot difficult. It's just a 1 versus 1 swap, right? You can just put out KDB and bring Salah back. Another advantage with having KDB is the kind of form he's showing, right? He's averaging 6 points per game. He's first for expected assists in the league. He's first for assists in the league. He has a forward who can convert those half chances that were not being converted last season in Allen. That gives us the confidence that it's going to be a good season for KDB as an FPL asset. Another thing is that he's going to start most games for Manchester City. Moving ahead, Rashford, 18-pointer in the last game week against Arsenal. He's now risen in price and he's now at 6.6 million currently. He's averaging 7 points per game this season. He's playing out of position as a striker for Manchester United. Ronaldo started midweek in the Europa League and didn't perform that good. Gives me the confidence that Erik ten Hag is going to start Rashford. Ronaldo's form plus Martial's injury means that Rashford is going to start at 9 for most of the games, and whenever Ronaldo comes in the second half, Rashford just shifts like a left winger, which is good for the games coming ahead as well, right? Leeds concede a lot of chances through the centre, which goes well for Rashford as well. Now, the Manchester City game is tough for fixture difficulty, but what we know about Rashford is that he loves playing against the top 6 side, and he would be someone again that we would have in the wildcard squad. Now, before we go ahead, just remember the fact that Manchester United versus Leeds might also get postponed. Why? Because there will be a lot of policing that will be required for the Manchester United and the Leeds rivalry that's there. The fans usually get very excited, and there are a lot of fan clashes that happens in that game. So there will be a lot of policing that will be required for that game, and that is the only reason why it can be cancelled. Now, if the Manchester United and Leeds game gets cancelled, then instead of Rashford and Dalot, the other good options that we are thinking of is Almiron from Newcastle United, who is just 5 million there. He can be a great 1-week punt as well. Why? Because Bournemouth concede a lot through their left flank, and that is where Almiron will play. They have conceded the highest number of chances from there. Neco Williams used that to his advantage this week, last game week, in game week 6. Instead of Dalot, you can bring in a Fofana from Chelsea at 4.4 million. Next up is a bit of surprise. Gerard Bowen. He was last season's wonder pick. But he has not had a good start to the season, right? The good thing for him is that he scored in the Europa League, and which also showed us that he will be on the penalties for West Ham. Now, West Ham's fixtures take a turn after this game week, right? The next 14 games that they play, only 3 are rated 3 or more than 3 in fixture difficulty ratings, which can play a huge role going forward, right? Now we all know that Moyes is a very good manager, and for him and for West Ham to continue a bad form for a long period cannot happen. So Bowen will come back in form and can be a good option. Now if you don't want Bowen, a like for like replacement can be Maddison, who has absolutely wonder fixtures going forward starting from next week. Now what we have been reading is that Spurs versus Leicester game might be on. So if that's the case, then bringing in Maddison and playing him versus Spurs can be a good option as well. Moving ahead, Andrea is the best enabler in the game for the mids, 4.6 million. What we know about Fulham is that they are very good at home. They play really attacking, and Andreas is almost on all set pieces. Just not on penalty, but he's on corners, he's on free kicks, everything. 4 out of the next 7 games for Fulham are home games, which can play a vital role going forward. Now, before we move forward, if you're finding this video useful or helpful for you, please like and subscribe to our channel. It will help us reach 750 subscribers. We're very close to it. So thank you. We are grateful for your support so far. And we are hoping to receive the same going forward. Moving on to the forwards, the first pick is a player who has averaged 11 points per game. His name is Erling Haaland. We don't want to explain. We don't want to add any other points. Let's just move forward. Just one point to add here for Haaland is that because the Arsenal versus PSV game got postponed, it could be rearranged in game week 12, which would mean Arsenal and Manchester City would have a blank game week in game week 12. Now just keep this in mind that you might have to switch 1 or 2 City assets before game week 12. The next player is Isak. We absolutely love the player. He has a great run, he has a great acceleration, and his playing style suits Newcastle. He could have scored in the last week as well. Fixture was just saved by the goalkeeper. And 2 out of the next 3 games for Newcastle are home games, and Newcastle are a beast at home, right? And now they are playing against the worst defense in the league. Bournemouth have the worst XG considered, expected goal considered. So bring him in, play him for 3 weeks, and then you can move on. Maybe a Diogo Costa from game week 11. The next player that we have is Mitrovic, 6.9 million just yesterday, averaging 6.5 points per game, scored 6 goals in 6 games, could have scored in all the games, but missed the penalty in the second game. And he's central to all Fulham attacks. Everything, whatever Fulham create, goes to him. So just bring him in. 4 of the next 7 games for Fulham are home games. He should do well. Moving on to the bench, we have Ward at 4 million at the bench because he's a good enabler at 4 million. Leicester City have a good run of games from next game week, and we are anyway going to start Pope in most game weeks. So just bring him in and keep there. The first person that we have on bench is James. Why we have him here is just because of the fact, it's because we don't want to totally move out of Liverpool and Chelsea assets because they are good teams. At some point of time, their defense will come out good. So just in, and as we all know that he's the best attacker in Chelsea. He is one of the best finisher, if not the best finisher for Chelsea. The bargain of the season, like we said in the pre-season, he is Martinelli. Risen to around 6.5 million from 6 million at the start. He is really dangerous on counter-attack, and Arsenal have a tough run going forward, but those games should suit Martinelli's style of play. So just keep him on the bench. The last player that we are having in the squad is Emerson. Now we had a discussion between Neco Williams, Patterson and Emerson. It was really tight between Patterson and Emerson, but we are going with Emerson just because of the fact that West Ham have a good run of fixtures going forward, and West Ham as a team are a better defense than Everton and Nottingham Forest. Now what we are reading is that Cresswell is back in training, so that would mean that Emerson's minute might be managed, more so because West Ham are playing in Europe as well. So if you have any single doubt about Emerson, just bring in Patterson. He should be a better player than Neco Williams in the long term is what we think. This brings us to the end of the Wildcard video. Let us know in the comment section what you thought about the video and which are the players that you are bringing in your Wildcard. And do stay connected. Read our Voice of the Boys, which will come out on Thursdays. Thank you.